Hi everyone, I'm Theresa Walstra and I channel my spirit guides. And it's now May 2020 and it's been an interesting journey. I don't think there's any one of us who can honestly say that they haven't had their lives disrupted as a result of everything that has happened. But what for me has been a fascinating journey with the guides is that last year in September, so September 2019, they began to ask me to do recordings of what they called the energy of the week. And those are 10-minute recordings where for the first half of the recording, they speak about the energy that is prevalent in our world. And the second half of the recording is a guided meditation, which sometimes you need to pause in order to actually get the full benefit. But for me, that's been a fascinating insight. And it's been a very interesting tool that I have used again and again and again, very often, almost every day of the week, in order to cope with these changes and this phenomenal, unprecedented change that has happened in our world and that has affected every one of us. And it started affecting us long before, and the guides were fully aware that this change was coming, but they never told us what to expect. But for more than a year, my guides have been speaking about an unprecedented change that was coming, an unprecedented energy. And it certainly has proved to be unprecedented in the history of our time. This lockdown just it has affected the world in ways that we couldn't begin to understand, and it has an effect on all our lives. But this energy of the week has been, for me, a fascinating journey because I'm very much a listener, just as you are. I'm a learner, just as you are. I've always said that if there was one way they chose me when they decided that I was going to be some sort of channel, it was by having a look around and saying, who makes the most mistakes? Who's the most flawed? Who's the most difficult to work with? Who's one of the most difficult people there are? And that's me, because I certainly didn't come by this gift by way of perfection or doing things right or being better than anybody or even trying to achieve to be better than myself. I learn as much as all of you do. So it really has been a fascinating journey for me. And I love having access to the energy of the week recordings. I often will laze about in a bath in order to just relax and get the full benefit of the energy of the week. But as I recall, before the lockdown started worldwide, there was the week, I think that we really noticed it here in South Africa. There was a very interesting energy of the week that the guides spoke about. They spoke about tidal waves of emotion that would sweep us away. And of course, a lot of that energy somehow is still present because it's not week by week. The energy, as I understand it, doesn't start instantaneously at one point and then cut off at another point. But it's been a fascinating journey for me with the guides, knowing that the energy of the week has such an enormous effect on my life and the lives of those who are using the energy of the week tool. And they can use it, people use it for business, they use it for personal relationships. And in my opinion, the guides have provided this as an alternative to the private readings which we used to do, which the guides for many years have been asking me to stop doing. And that's as a result of the fact that I'm the weakest link in the chain. I only have so much energy. Emotionally, I only have so much that I can give. And so I become the weakest link in the chain. And the guides for more than 10 years have been saying, please work with groups, because in working with groups, they can get messages out to so many more people. So I'm going to start with a prayer now, and I'm going to ask the guides to come through to speak to us of the energy of the week in general, how it works, how it affects our lives, that sort of thing. So let's just start with the prayer and the guides will come through. Great Spirit, we ask for your protection as we join with the world of spirit. We ask that you would help us to open our minds and our lives and our hearts to the information that comes through here, so that we'll be able to put it to best use in our own lives. And we ask that you will bless what we are doing here. Amen. So, we greet you once again, beloved friends, and we would say to you that as we draw towards you at this time, as always, we bring with us all who are your spirit guides and all who love you from the world of spirit. They provide a buffer zone between those in your world who don't always agree with you, because they bring with them love, and all who are your spirit guides bring, as always, unconditional love, expecting nothing more from you than you are able to give. So let us speak to you about the energy of the week that is provided for you. We would say, you know that there are planetary alignments which have effect in your world, and there are energies at play constantly. But there are certain energies which become dominant energies in your world from time to time, which can be used, if you would choose to use them, to understand what is taking place around you. Those who work with what you call astrology are fascinated, and correctly so, by the alignment of the planets and the energies that affect each individual. Now, added to that, there are many other energies that become available as a result of changes taking place within your world, changes that are controlled by what we would call the council for your earthly plane. And it is a combination of all of that that we take into account to give you a tool to use as a meditative tool in a week that lies ahead of you. And if you have an understanding of the energy that is prevalent, and there are many energies at any one time, but if you have an understanding of the prevailing energy, then you will have perhaps a greater sense of patience with others and with yourself, understanding that they too are swept away by energies that are beyond their understanding or control. And if you have access to a knowledge of a prevailing energy that can be used to benefit you, to perhaps end something or create something new, then your life can be more easily controlled to a certain extent if you allow yourself to flow with what is the prevailing energy. It is almost as though if you are swept away on a tide, then if you allow yourself to be swept away with it instead of resisting, you will get the greatest benefit. And that is the true purpose of the energy of the week, to allow you to be swept away on the tide that will be of greatest benefit to you, to help you to resist less, and to let go when there is a need to let go. So I would say to you that the energy of the week for 10 minutes can be of incredible benefit to you if you would allow it to. And so we leave you with our great and unconditional love for you.